wars over land and imaginary borders, money or oil have created, and how we as Americans, for example, aid places like Israel to continue their genocide of Palestinians, especially here in CT, where a good percentage of our jobs are in manufacturing for the military-industrial complex. What personally makes me nauseous because in this capitalistic society, we work in an industry where you feel like you're selling your soul or your kids don't eat. Now, as we all watch in horror at what's happening in Ukraine, I unfortunately can't stop comparing the reactions between this current crisis and crises that have been ongoing in Black and brown countries. I'm obviously saddened and terrified for the citizens of Ukraine, but I'm angry watching the way the media speaks about these refugees as compared to how they speak about, say, the Syrian refugees Europeans recently had no room for. The Prime Minister of Hungary actually said the moral human thing is to make clear, please don't come, while putting up a 13-foot high barbed wire fence over 100 miles of their Serbian border. Whereas 2 days ago, I've seen numbers over 100,000 Ukrainians have been let in days since the Russians invaded Ukraine, without any reservation. Why is that? Now, please don't mistake my words for any ill wishes for the people of Ukraine. That's not what this is. I'm just hopeful for the day where the same energy is used to help all countries, all people, Black, brown, and indigenous people, have been murdered and displaced for years all over the world. We hear things like, these are not the refugees we're used to. These are Europeans. These are intelligent. They are educated people. That's the Prime Minister of Bulgaria. And we don't even bat an eye. That's sadly normal to hear. It makes people like us cringe now. But a few years ago, I honestly can't admit that I wouldn't have had a second thought because white supremacy and implicit bias control every narrative, every news source, every law. White supremacy needs to be stamped out for good. We hear things like, these are not the refugees from Syria, these are refugees from Ukraine. They're Christian, they're very similar to us. That was a CBS News anchor. Here's another one. This isn't a place with, all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen conflicts raging for decades. This is a relatively European city where you wouldn't expect or hope that this is going to happen. I have to choose those words carefully, too. So they knew what they were saying was racist, and they still chose to say it publicly, on the news for that matter, for anybody with internet to have access to and continue to spread this hateful rhetoric on Black and brown people. Also, you must have not been a news anchor back in 1991 to 2016 because Ukraine went through it to keep their independence. Their protests were pretty badass if I'm being honest. But again, they're white, so that's allowed and civilized, just like our insurrection on January 6th of 2021. And that comparison is only for the whiteness and not the message behind their actions. To end on the only positive note I could, I found an Irish politician of some sort speaking about the same issues we are right now, and they definitely said it better than me. So he said, "You are happy to correctly use the strong and robust language to determine crimes against humanity against Putin, but you do not use the same strength of language when it comes to describing Israel's treatment of Palestinians." It continues by talking about the fact that it is documented by multiple entities that what is happening in Palestine, the assault on Gaza, the annexation of land and territory, is a systematic application of apartheid. But yet Palestinians are told to go and sit and negotiate rather than have the response we see in Ukraine, which should be the response every time.
Right.